Let's be honest, buying a laptop in 2026 is a nightmare. Between neural processing units, OLED versus mini LED, and the endless battle between Intel, AMD, and Apple Silicon, it's easy to feel like you need a computer science degree just to check out your Amazon cart. Most people make the same mistake. They either overspend on power they'll never use, or they buy a deal that slows to a crawl within 6 months. Today, we're fixing that. I'm going to walk you through the 5 pillars of choosing the perfect laptop for your specific needs. Before you look at specs, you need to look at your life. There are generally 4 types of laptop users. First, the casual or student user. You're browsing, streaming, and writing papers. You need reliability and battery life, not a supercomputer. Second, the professional or remote worker. You live in Zoom, Excel, and Slack. You need a great keyboard, a crisp webcam, and rock-solid multitasking. Third, the creative pro. You're editing 4K or 8K video, rendering 3D models, or doing high-res graphic design. You need raw power and color accuracy. Finally, the gamer. You want high frame rates and cooling that doesn't sound like a vacuum cleaner. In 2026, the CPU isn't just a processor, it's an AI engine. Apple Silicon remains the king of efficiency. If you want the best battery life and a silent experience, even the base M-series models are incredibly fast for 90% of people. On the Windows side, Intel Core Ultra and AMD Ryzen are the workhorses. This year, look specifically for chips with a high NPU or neural processing unit count. Windows features like real-time translation and advanced photo editing now run on that NPU to save your battery. As a golden rule, don't buy anything less than an Intel Core i5, a Ryzen 5, or an Apple M2 if you want the laptop to last more than 3 years. Next, let's talk about the memory and storage trap. This is where manufacturers make their most profit by upcharging you. In 2026, 8 GB of RAM is dead. Do not buy an 8 GB laptop. Even for basic browsing, 16 GB is now the standard minimum for a smooth experience. If you're a pro or a gamer, 32 GB is your target. For storage, 256 GB is barely enough for the operating system and a few apps. Aim for 512 GB at minimum. A quick pro tip, check if the laptop is user upgradable. Many Windows laptops let you add more RAM later for a fraction of the cost, saving you hundreds on the initial purchase price. You stare at your screen for 8 hours a day, so don't cheap out here. 1080p FHD is the bare minimum. If you're buying a 14-inch or larger, try to find a 2K or QHD display for sharper text. OLED is the gold standard for 2026, offering perfect blacks and vibrant colors. However, if you work outdoors, an IPS panel with at least 400 nits of brightness might be better for visibility. Also, pay attention to the refresh rate. Once you try 120 Hz, you can never go back to 60 Hz. It makes every mouse movement and scroll feel butter smooth. Then there is the balance of portability versus power. 13 to 14-inch laptops are the sweet spot. Light enough for a backpack, but large enough for real work. 15 to 16-inch models are better as desktop replacements. You get a numpad and more screen real estate, but your back will feel it after a mile of walking. Don't get stuck in dongle hell, either. Ensure you have at least one USB-C port for charging and an HDMI port if you plan on using an external monitor. Don't ignore the hidden factors like build quality and battery. If you can, go to a store and type on the keyboard. A mushy keyboard can ruin a $2,000 laptop experience. As for battery, ignore the claims of up to 20 hours. Look for real-world tests and reviews. If a laptop can't get you through an 8-hour workday on 70% brightness, it's not truly portable. So how do you choose? First, set a hard budget. Second, pick your operating system between Mac and Windows. Third, find that 16 GB RAM and 512 GB SSD baseline. Finally, check the real user reviews for cooling and fan noise. Buying a laptop is an investment in your productivity and your sanity. Take your time, look at the links I've curated in the description for the best valued models of the year, and don't be afraid to ask questions in the comments. If this guide helped you narrow down your choice, hit that like button and subscribe for more tech deep dives. Remember, The best laptop isn't the most expensive one. It's the one that disappears and just lets you get your work done. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.